and welcome to Captains of Industry. Today we are having coffee and just having a good time and good conversations and touching on a very special guest. She is in the business of jobs. In one or another, she'll help you get a job or also empower you to hire right. What am I talking about? Sarah Ndegwa is the MD of Brighter Monday, and she joins us in this conversation. Sarah, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Noah. Thank you so much.
Brighter Monday, what do you guys do?
So Brighter Monday is in the jobs marketplace. We have been a mainstay in the Kenyan space from 2006, really kind of in the .com era of bringing on jobs online. But a lot has also changed for Brighter Monday since that time. So right now, really, we are a lot more in the job space, but also very actively engaged in youth employment and workforce development conversations as well.
Definitely. Quite interesting. What was your first job?
My first job, I think I had the most ambiguous title. I was a project manager, but I can tell you, it was pretty much anything that needed to be done, I had to do. But it was quite an interesting job, an entry-level job, of course, so had to do a lot. But it was exciting. Nonetheless, I think as many Kenyans and people trying out jobs for their first time, it was one of those experiences that really crystallized for me what type of environment and engagement and company and jobs would give me fulfillment in my career.
Ah, that's quite interesting. Project manager.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. And now MD.
Yes.
It's a huge leap. How many years in the making?
About 9.
Okay.
So I think it's been 9 years of very eventful and exciting journey. Started out a little bit more in the media space. Really just learned a lot around marketing, engagement, communications, and then slowly that transitioned into like helping businesses, especially when it came to figuring out how to succeed, what they need to do to grow in the market. And that is what landed me in the human talent side of it. And for about 5 years, I did executive search, really helping organizations identify the right leaders to join the organizations. And then after that, then I was able to join the African Talent Company, which is the parent company to the Brighter Monday brand across Kenya and Uganda, as well as Joberman across Ghana and Nigeria.
Okay.
And so under that umbrella, really now started working around jobs in totality, right? End-to-end, entry-level, mid-level, senior and leadership roles, getting to understand the dynamics at market level, but even more important is that we now added our impact side, which is now where we try and tackle a lot of the issues that we see coming up. And a big one, of course, speaking of Africa, is youth unemployment. So that's a big one for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. I mean, you've had quite a change.
Yes.
Navigated from project manager all the way to media space.
Yes.
And now sales and marketing.
Yes.
And now you evolve into the human capital space.
Correct.
Where you guys are expanding in even further now to empowerment and filling gaps.
Yes.
That's quite an evolution.
Yes.
Especially coming from a school of thought back in the day where you are urged to pick a career, do a number of years.
Yes.
And that is really changing because we're seeing a lot of movement.
Correct.
Talk to me about maybe that attitude change that we see amongst young people coming into the job market.
No, that's a great question, Noah. I think one of the challenges that we have right now, rhetoric actually, is the conversation around Gen Z and kind of their eagerness or stickability within jobs. But I think there's a lot of exploration and opportunity that comes with trying out new things, right? So I think for me, one of the things that really worked in kind of figuring out my career journey was actually kind of embodying something that Branson said, which is when you're asked to make a shoe, don't say you don't know. Say yes, go learn how to make the shoe, right? And so there's a lot of opportunities that are there, but there's almost this school of thought where if I studied marketing, my first job should be marketing, right? But the reality of it is that your undergraduate degree basically is building a foundation of the skills you need to succeed in a workplace. But the type of role you end up doing really doesn't matter. It's what you will start with, grow, learn, adjust. And I think that's pretty much where I have seen a lot of impact. Even during my executive search time, when speaking to these CEO candidates, they didn't have a linear career trajectory. It was always about jumping different organizations, different roles, because again, it gives you a holistic sense of the different opportunities and challenges and things that need to be done, right? So I think overall, looking at Gen Z, that appetite should be encouraged because it really does provide a solid ground to build solid careers, right? What really matters is for each of those opportunities that you get, you must apply yourself 100%. That's the only way you can learn, take your learnings from that opportunity and move on to the next. So I think that's where a little bit of that conversation should be shifting.
That's true. Because I mean, Gen Zs are sort of pushing those traditional boundaries. And it's quite interesting.
Yes.
Even we're looking at some of the statistics in regards to the interest towards leadership and ascending, organizational ranks. It's something that they're showing less interest each and every single day, and they're preferring almost a different kind of leadership. But going back to your executive hiring days, that is quite interesting because you are choosing leaders. You are a leader. But you are in the process of choosing leaders. What were some of the biggest lessons that you picked during that time when it comes to leadership and the choice of leadership that we make?
Amazing. So I think one of the things that you really get to learn, so first, like I mentioned, a lot of these leaders didn't have linear trajectories in their careers, right? So these leaders were starting in one role, moving into another, shifting into another. That gave them a holistic kind of encompassment of understanding how organizations work. The second one actually was that culture, organizational culture and a leader are two very distinct things. So somebody could be an excellent candidate for a company on one end and could be a completely bad candidate for same company or different company, same role, right? So a CEO for company A and a CEO for company B would be fundamentally different in what would make them succeed in that role. So overall, I think the key thing to understand is that leaders influence culture. Leaders influence how organizations practice and engage, right? And so depending on that, their leadership style, their approach to what they consider to be fundamental to the success of an organization is really key. Because just because you are a director, a finance director, for example, in a company where a lot of the focus is on driving efficiency, may not necessarily work for a strong profile for a finance director in an organization that's a little bit more on the donor side, because those are very different kind of balances that you have to bring to the table, right? Or maybe a finance director that has to lead a commercial team. And I use that example because currently one of my best mentors is my boss, and he's a CFO stroke CCO, which is a commercial, leader. And that balance of a person is very hard to find, right? Because on the commercial side, the priorities are starkly different from the financial side of it. And so depending on the organization, there's a sense that a leader can work well for this organization because they're fully focused on the financial side, or this leader would work well for us because they bring a balance of the commercial and the financial. So that's kind of the balance I would mention there.
That's kind of interesting. We've had our coffee brought. Your favorite, which one is that?
Yes, so this is a caramel latte. This is a mainstay on my side. I think I've had this since I was in college. I pretty much could not stomach black coffee, but I needed coffee during college for the long nights and very, very, very crazy exam times. And so this became my little middle.
Really?
Yes. So I really do love a nice caramel latte.
Caramel latte.
Yeah, and potentially I think I have too many.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for another time.
I see. Spoken like a true addict. Try that.